All right. Hey, welcome back to the channel. And today, there's no fancy intro song. There's no fancy graphics. It's just me, guitar, a few pedals, and you, and an amp, and microphones, and some recording equipment, and some lights, and some camera. No, I'm just kidding. Go on all day, right? So, welcome back to the channel. I'm doing the a 2-in-1 build I did. This is a Mad Bean Pedals Husky Boy right here, boop, and the Fat Pants Junior, boop. I have built a number of these. I love it. It's a JFET boost. It's supposed to be built, or, you know, originally intended to be built in a little 1590A enclosure. This is my first one. This is about 6 years old, I believe. But Brian of Mad Beans discontinued it, so I bought up some of the boards and I put one in here, and then I had some extras, so I decided to just have it just in case. And of course, I tried to build the Mad Bean Pedals rust bucket, and I failed. Kind of. I drilled this enclosure up for it, and I shoved it in there, and of course, it wasn't working. The pot was grounding out on the PCBs, so I pulled it out, threw it in a different enclosure, worked great. Now I have an enclosure. I hate wasting enclosures, so I will find whatever way I can to try to get them, you know, to use them up. So here I had this 5 knobs and a switch drilled. I gotta figure out what to put in here. I got a good idea, a couple boosts. Because what I love about this Fat Pants is it's almost an always on for me. Like when I use it, it's always on. And I usually use it, especially with Stratocasters, because it helps tame, especially where it's set right now at noon, it helps tame that kind of shrillness that can kind of be associated with a bridge pickup on a Stratocaster. And so that's kind of what I want to show you how I use it. I want to show you that it's like the clean amp, how it sounds, and we put this on, it's just, man, it comes alive, right? And this Husky Boy is no slouch either. It's a really, really great boost. It's, when you pair them together, I can get a really nice lead sound. So if I use the Fat Pants for like a rhythm, then I can kick that on for a lead. It sounds really, really good. And of course, you know, if we're going to be using terms like Husky Boy and Fat Pants, you know, I mean, comic book guy kind of fits the bill, right?
Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix.
You know what I would love here, guys? If you've watched any of these videos, you know, and I don't care about any of that sharing and bullshit or that other thing that everybody else says, but if people could put in their favorite comic book guy quotes in the comment section, that would make me just the happiest camper in the world. So I'd really appreciate that. Here we are. The Fat Pants Husky Boy, the comic book guy. You know, I just noticed when I set this down here, I haven't really looked that close at it with my dirty glasses, but if you can see, there's my fingerprint in the paint. That happened a lot. That's happened a lot. Still happens a lot. And then you can see this little thing here, a ding in the paint, because there's no clear coat on most of the stuff I do. Someone once put on the forum there about, and I don't think he was speaking necessarily to me, but about some of us who are making, you know, a really artistic pedal builds, and then he said something like, you're making pedal builds that are going to get stomped on with piss-coated boots in venues. And I don't think he got the point of what I'm trying to do. But then it also brought up a lot of questions to me about, like, how much piss are you stepping in? And why are you in so much urine? Like, what world is this, what urine-soaked world do you live in that you're worried about getting all that much pee from your boots onto a pedal, right? Are you trouncing in a bucket of urine before getting on stage? I don't know. And anyway, I digress. Let's get back to this goddamn build. Okay, so comic book guy, I painted him in acrylic paint. I always use acrylics, and I'm very proud of this one. The Simpsons early work, you know, being a fan of cartoons and cartoonists, you know, the guys from Simpsons have always been an aspiration. I just love how simple and how they created this whole world. It's really, really nice. So let's turn it over and take a look on the inside. Now, this is a bit of a mess of wiring. here's my Fat Pants Junior. And see, we have this op amp in here, this an LT1054. So what this is doing, it's a voltage doubler. And that's what that test pad is there for. So we can check the voltage, and we, using this trimmer, we'll set it right around 18 volts. Now, I have balanced and biased before on this channel, but I'm going to show you guys again how incredibly easy it is to do. Hopefully, we have my handy dandy little multimeter. Gonna turn it to. This thing's such a piece of junk. It's so old. Turn it to DC voltage. What I like to do is I anchor the black probe, boop, right into the enclosure. Then you just get right on this test point with the red one. And what we want to see is right around 18 volts. That's all you do, and you just adjust this trimmer. So we'll turn it wildly out of range. Now we're up to 27. We don't want that. We want it right around 18. And there we go. That's all we're doing. And that's just going to make it have the most, the best boost available, okay? And then, as you can see with these, now that's with the Fat Pants. With the Husky Boy over here, I have all this outboard wiring I did for all the pots. And then all of my J-FETs are on these daughter boards that I have the resistor leads that I always use to connect them. And then I did eventually solder them in there just to keep them in place. You know, realistically, I could have cut these down quite a bit, but who cares? It works. Pretty easy build though, guys. I really, really love these two circuits, and I really like them paired together. So yeah, and again, I talked about the enclosure mishap, so I'm glad it all worked itself out, and it's a brilliant little pedal. So there we go. The Mad Bean pedals, Husky Boy, Fat Pants. Let's get into some sounds. Got a couple pedals on the ground, and we're using the Trinity Amps 18 watter. This is my favorite amp right now, guys. I can't get over how great it sounds. Here's the deal with this boost. It can go off, so you can use it as like an underboost. I think that's the best way to term that. So think of an underboost as like if you had an effects loop in your amp, you could put that in there. You could crank the shit out of your amp, and then everything that's going to go through that effects loop before it hits the power stage, you could use this to dial it back so you get some really great tones. So that's what I want to show there. Just, it's on, it's just about here, so I'm not shouting, is about unity. Now I'm going to go right to here because I want to show you something. The high end on that, little piercing, it can be a little piercing. What this does is it rounds off that high end and kind of really pushes up the mids, and it just makes the guitar sound really beautiful and feel really good under your hands. I love it, right? I just love it. So let's turn on the fat switch. So now what this is going to do is a lot more low end in. And again, with a bridge pickup on a Stratocaster, it's perfect. So, you heard that, right? Hopefully, you go from this really great sound, and then all we do is we turn this on. It makes everything sound and feel a little bit better. So, okay, we're going to crank her full up, but dial back this fat. It just makes the amp, takes a great amp and just really hits it and makes it sound really great. So okay, let's go over to the Husky Boy. Now this is very It reminds me very much of a Timmy. These are bass and treble cut controls, so as we turn them up, it's gonna cut more of the bass, more of the treble, right? So what we'll do is we'll leave them on full, and just, here we go. Oh, let's give you a clean sound. At noon, here we go. How great is that? So again, it's just giving you that, like, makes the amp fuller and sounds really good. But what it can do, I notice, is a lot of times with amps, I end up cutting out a little bit of low end, especially if I'm writing songs, is because, so I have keyboards and bass and everything else. So I like that you can kind of make this a little bit more brittle, right? And that just sits so good in when I go to record. I just love it. So now we'll do one more thing here. That sounds pretty cool, right? Alright, there they are together. Oh, I didn't show you the treble cut. Now we can make this super dark. We'll throw all the bass in here. Ready? Guys, so it's a boost, right? It sounds really, really cool, and as you saw in the build section, they're simple circuits, you know, they sound really great. So I highly recommend checking them out. And thank you for tuning in and listening to me ramble about boost pedals. I appreciate it. You guys have a great day.